This is a Film Stories original podcast. Welcome back, everyone, to the X-Cast. The truth is in here. I'm your host, Tony Black, and welcome back to I Want to Believe Minute, where we unpick the second X-Files movie 1 minute at a time. Today, helping me to explore minute 93, running from approximately 92 minutes as Scully enters Mulder's home office to 92 minutes and 59 seconds as Mulder describes Father Joe's psychic connection to Scully, our fellow X-Cast hosts, Carl Sweeney, Sarah Blair, and Kurt North. And this is it, guys. This is the end, the final block of I Want to Believe Minute. Can you believe we're here?
Hello. Yeah, it's been a wild ride, hasn't it? It's taken months of planning and recording, so it's good. It's a nice feeling to be here towards the end. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's been a really interesting adventure as well, and I'm sure we'll get into that as we go through the next few minutes and into the credits and stuff. But yeah, there's been a lot to kind of look back on, and a lot to kind of see, and listening to different people's opinions and stuff has been really intriguing, because at the moment I've only heard up to minute 70, so but yeah, that will be really interesting to see what people's thoughts are on the development of people's thoughts and feelings on it.
We didn't give up.
Yeah.
We didn't give up.
Didn't give up. How was I haven't listened to them yet, Sarah, but how was the Skinner barrage episode? That must have been fun.
Yeah, it was great. We had a good time.
Well, everyone will have listened to that by now, so that's good. Anyway, before we start, guys, a quick reminder to follow the X-Cast on social media at linktr.ee/the X-Cast. You can do that, and you can get all the links to Twitter and Facebook and our basement group and our Twitter account and all those places on there. And our Patreon, and you can join the Patreon and the patreon.com/the X-Cast, and you get loads of episodes, early releases, bonus content, you name it, it's all there. And if you really like the show, please do give us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever player you use, because it does help us find more X-Files fans who can join in at the fun, even at this late stage. Although whoever's joining into X-Files, I Want to Believe minute 93, I mean, fair play to you if that's you, because that's that's pretty impressive. But anyway, let's talk about this minute. And yeah, this is the wrap-up scene, really, isn't it? It's the next few block of minutes we're talking about is one long final wrap-up conversation between Mulder and Scully. So we're gonna do that over the next few minutes. But it starts with Mulder cutting up a classic article, another one of those articles that he'd spread all across his basement wall, which says FBI arrests modern day Frankenstein.
Yeah, and it's a nice way to kind of highlight or underscore, some of the thematic stuff that's been going on in this film. I think it's this whole sequence I quite like, and to go back to what we said at the very start of I Want to Believe Minute, where I said that I think there are aspects of this film that work better with me now than they did in 2008. I think this scene would probably fit into that, because I think overall what we're about to come on to is really well played, quite interesting in relation to the way it positions these characters, and yeah, it all starts here with a newspaper clipping, but I think it's a good scene overall that we're going to get into here.
I like the bookend of it, because, that's kind of how he started off in the film, is clipping newspaper articles and posting them on his wall, and we're back to that again, which makes me wonder about his character arc. Has he really changed? Did he need to change? I don't know, but I like that it circles back around. Feels complete.
Yeah, I think what's intriguing about it is just the as you say, the kind of wrap up element, the kind of here's what we learned today part of the episode, of the movie, and I think it works really quite well. And I'll go into it in future minutes when we get towards the end, but there's certain viewpoints that I have overall with this scene when we get outside, but that's for another minute. So, but yeah, overall feels like it is that kind of wrap up, nice bookend to stuff, like you say. Purely from an aesthetic point of view, one of the things that really jumped out at me on this watch was the fact that there's a basketball with signatures on it. I'm not quite sure what that is. And the lamp looks suspiciously like a UFO. And that was, those are the two aesthetic things I noticed.
Can I just give a shout out to Scully's hair in this scene? Because, like, it's just perfect and gorgeous. Like, it's, you know.
Yeah.
Speaking of aesthetics.
She does look particularly, she does look particularly beautiful in this scene. Yeah. I thought that, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's also reminiscent. It's obviously the same day they did all the photo shoots that you'd see early when the first press release came out, because she's wearing that brown jacket. It seems like it's around the same day. Obviously, I know David Duchovny's got his mark on his forehead, but that wouldn't have been in the photo shoot, so it would have been before that. But it's certainly reminiscent of memories of before the film even started.
Yeah. I think what's interesting about Scully when she comes in and starts talking about Father Joe is how little eye contact she's making with Mulder. I think it's a nice way to convey just how much kind of conflict she's experiencing about what she thinks about Father Joe and how difficult she's finding all of that, basically. That's what jumped out at me on this rewatch, more so than like the lamp and stuff that Kurt's talking about.
I love that we all notice different things. And that's what I love about the X-Cast. We get to talk about all the different things.
Even lamps, even that level of minutiae is what we're about.
It's clearly a UFO lamp. Watch it after What's Up Doc, after you get that couple of seconds and you see the wide shot of Mulder at the desk. It looks like a UFO.
Yeah.
But that's all I'm saying.
It does feel very old Mulder, doesn't it? The way he is in this scene. His kind of anger about, what the FBI have said and how fired up he seems. You know, he feels like he's got a renewed sense of purpose here, doesn't he?
You had a What's Up Doc point you were going to make, I think, Sarah, weren't you, about that line, that very famous line?
Yeah, definitely. If you listen to the last episode that we did with Cortlan and Cathy, got some fun facts about Bugs Bunny there. Yeah. So,
Bugs Bunny. But no, you're right, Carl. I think he has got his mojo back. I think definitely, in this, and the whole scene feels like, particularly maybe this first minute, feels like this. It reminded me of the TV episodes, not just in wrapping up the film, but just the kind of scene you get at the end of quite a lot of X-Files episodes, where Scully goes to see Mulder, whether in the office, and. I for some reason, and Kurt will enjoy this, or maybe not, I thought of when she goes to him and tells him Diana Fowley's dead at the end of Amor Fati, right?
God bless her soul.
And then they get into a conversation. Yeah. Another off-screen death, essentially, and then as import to the story. So it felt very old-fashioned X-Files in that way.
Well, I've been referring to this in my minutes quite a bit. It also felt to me very end of Fight the Future, when they're reading the article about the hantavirus. I thought it was very kind of reminiscent of that to a degree as well.
You mentioned about the photo shoot stuff earlier, and I think they did have press in, because on the commentary, Frank talks about how when they did a bit of a press tour in the office, and the press saw the article that said about Frankenstein's monster, and they all shit themselves thinking, oh my God, are we giving the film away? Because it's got a picture of Alex Diakin on it as well. So any savvy press person's going to go, hang on a minute. So they thought they'd given it away. So then when they did the marketing later on, and they did that fake, we talked about it, I think we talked about it maybe at the very beginning, but we've talked about it on the minutes, about the fake werewolf head and this misdirection. They did it in part because they didn't want to give the game away about the Frankenstein element, really, which is interesting. I love the way they just forgot that was on the wall at some point. They were like, shit, better not take that down. That's quite fun. So I definitely think there were press people there, and there were photo shoots going on around the point they were filming this as well.
It makes me wonder if they had been a little bit less secret about it, if it would have gotten people a little more amped up, or maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, Yeah, it's the kind of thing you can never prove. I suspect it wouldn't have made a huge amount of difference in the grand scheme of things, but that's just my guess, really. I don't know. What do you think, Kurt?
Yeah.
I don't think it would have made that much difference. I mean, the werewolf thing I kind of half remember at the time, but not to the point of like it spoiling anything. Oh, it's not a werewolf story. So I think if it said it's a Frankenstein story, I don't think I would have had the same reaction I would have had now.
Well, let's call this minute to an end then for this one. We'll talk a little bit more about some of what they're saying in this scene in the next minute. So we'll come back in just a little while, guys, for minute 94. Thanks for sticking with us all the way to the end. And always remember, until we come back next time, trust no one.